Oh shit! Star Fox Adventures is 480p. Ooh, that's game over. Hell yeah! I know what I'm doing after work today.
Everyone, and welcome to Why Are You Still Here? Or Wish for the children of the world. We are the world.
No.
We are the future. Anyway, so yes, today we're talking about I have no fancy name, but nobody likes my fancy names anyway. So you know what? Maybe they'll never come back. Anyway. Top 5 comedies.
So every time we do these lists, I feel like it would stay the same for a couple of years, but then you go back, you want to take a few things out, you want to put a few things in, then you watch it again in another 5 years, take a few things out, put a few things in. So I just want to have it, whatever that was. So I just want to have a disclaimer here.
That's what she said.
That this is all subjective and they change over time, but Brandon just sprang the idea on me, and I was looking through my movies and things that I had physically, remembering things that I've seen, and I came up with this list, and I don't think it's perfect, but comedy isn't like my all-time favorite genre, but it's up there, so I just picked some ones that actually have actually every single one of these is nostalgic. Is yours the same?
Well, I'm just still trying to tackle your disclaimer that this is subjective. Of course it's subjective. It's our top 5 list. Anyway,
it's out.
So mine, I guess there's probably some nostalgia in there as well, but mine really doesn't change. So that's the only thing that differs from yours, I guess.
I was just looking through my movies as I was throwing them in the trash last night, and I'm putting them and I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I remember buying that one at Suncoast, or I remember watching this one on TV at a certain time every single year. I remember, it's things like that. So
interesting.
They're all funny movies, but they're in order basically of how they made me laugh at a certain time. It's
right.
It's interesting little list.
So number 5 to number 1.
With 2 honorable mentions as well.
Oh, I have no honorable mentions.
You son of a bitch. I just would have assumed that you would. You always do.
I have a very concise list.
All right, well, you can space off while I'm talking and think about it as we do the video.
Okay.
If you'd like to. We'll do the honorable mentions last.
Okay, sounds good. Usually do honorable mentions first, but you know what? I already have them.
Cool. Would you like to start?
Yeah. Are we starting with our honorable mentions?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so the honorable mentions are the only ones that really don't fit in to the rest of the list, and you might say, what does that mean?
Really? Yeah, I was thinking, what does that mean?
And I'll tell you what it means is that they're the only ones that are more straight up comedies. So the rest of them, as you'll come to find out, that I like my comedies like I like my life. Slightly
horrible.
Dramatic.
Oh.
And
wow. Mine are like basically straight up comedies.
They're all straight up comedies too, but
mine are just silly and stupid.
More drama in them then, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Well, one of mine does, but
they have some real life drama in all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, all of them except for my 2 honorable mentions.
So I guess we'll do the honorable mentions.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So honorable mentions for me is Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery.
Yeah. You know what? It's really funny. That's also on my honorable mention list, because I already have another spoof movie in my top 5, and I didn't want to have, because I was gonna end up having, when I thought I was gonna have 3 spoof movies in my top 5, and that couldn't have happened. You know what I mean? I needed variety in there.
Yeah, I don't have any except for that, which I don't even consider it a spoof movie. But
absolutely
that doesn't
love
matter.
Scary Movie 1. You know, that movie is just an absolute staple.
Is that your honorable mention?
Well, Austin Powers was. I'd rather say Austin Powers than Scary Movie.
Are you so you don't have Scary Movie in the rest of your list?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I love it.
Apparently not enough. Anyway, okay, so my second honorable mention, and this one might be a surprising one to you because you've never seen it. We've talked about this before, but anybody who has seen this movie gets it like that. Totally get it. And that's Trainwreck. So it is just one of those movies where it literally makes me laugh until I hurt on the inside. And it really made me like Amy Schumer. But then after that, it turned out Amy Schumer is kind of like a terrible person who steals everybody's jokes. So then I was like, well, I guess I don't like her so much. But, you know, Bill Hader, it's impossible to not love Bill Hader. So, you know, just focus on him. And that was the first movie I ever saw Ezra Miller in. So grab my botch. I don't know what that is. Grab my botch.
Okay, this is so great, but
cradle my botch. Cradle my botch.
I'm gonna take a rain check, but how about
you want to get on top?
Yeah,
you want to take charge, Daddy?
Yeah, I've never seen the movie, so I have no idea what he's talking about. Anyway,
so your second honorable mention.
I didn't have any Jim Carrey movies on my list. Not that they're not good. He's absolutely amazing. You know, my favorite Jim Carrey movie is nostalgically, and I'm not gonna say Series of Unfortunate Events, so don't think that. And it's just, and I'm not gonna say Liar Liar. I'm sorry, I know that's probably your favorite, but I just love The Mask.
It's party time! P-A-R-T. Why? Because I gotta!
You know how much I love that movie growing up? Well, of course you do. Are you pulling out the VHS? Yes, I had the same thing. I loved little Milo popping out the corner. It was so funny, so great. Love this movie.
Indeed. God.
And
anyway,
wait a minute. I mean, it doesn't. I was gonna do the party joke, but it makes sense because we're not partying. Anyway, is Ace Ventura your favorite, or are you just showing off Jim Carrey movies?
I have the Jim Carrey trifecta.
Oh,
the trilogy, if you will.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Because I've never been a fan of Dumb and Dumber. Sorry for anybody out there. I've
seen it a couple of times. I don't own it.
It's never been my thing. Don't know why. Which is weird because basically the character of Lloyd is me at work constantly.
Oh God.
You know, just like
Yes.
you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Yeah, that's you at work. Jeez, Jim Carrey Central over here. Anyway, let's move on to our number 5.
Indeed. Why do I feel like I completely lost track of the situation?
Anyway,
Okay. So
we're gonna go to our
number 5.
Number 5s
is, I feel like I need to have some type of lead up, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's The Whole 9 Yards with Matthew Perry.
Which version? Okay.
Which version?
Wait a minute. I'm thinking of that of the Adam Sandler movie that they remade where he was in it, and there was one from the 70s. It had a similar title. The Longest Yard. That's
The Longest Yard. Yes.
What did you say? The Whole 9 Yards?
The Whole 9 Yards. Yeah.
Oh,
it got a sequel called The Whole 10 Yards.
Okay.
And The Whole 9 Yards was an R-rated movie. The Whole 10 Yards was a PG-13 movie.
That
it was during
sucks.
that like mid 2000s thing of making sequels to movies and making them PG-13 for some reason, but
to get more people to see them.
Correct. Yes. And I'm not going to get into it too much, but if you've never seen it, oh my God, see it. It's Matthew Perry, Bruce Willis, and it is just so good. So good. A dentist, basically, who just hates his life, hates his wife. His wife is always trying to kill him. And he's always trying to like commit suicide too, because he's a dentist. And suicide rates for dentists, if you don't know, are through the roof.
Okay.
Seriously, that's a real statistic. And I did not say Siri. And his wife is like always cheats on him. It's just terrible. And all of a sudden, Jimmy the Tulip Tedeschi moves in across the street from him, which is a guy who used to be in the mob, right? Hitman, basically. And their lives get intertwined with each other, basically. So this dentist who lives this very boring life gets intertwined with a hitman. And obviously Matthew Perry is the dentist, Bruce Willis is the hitman. And
I love Bruce Willis basically in anything
so
he's
good.
in. I just, yes.
Yeah, as long as it's not anything he was in within the last 2 years.
Or any of the Die Hard sequels.
Isn't the second one good?
Yeah,
like the second one.
The
Die Harder.
You know, they've been making those for a long time, and there's still more of them.
I take a step back. The third one I saw as a kid with a vengeance, and the fourth one has Olyphantastic in it, Mr. Timothy Oliphant, and people love that movie. Live Free or Die Hard. People love that freaking movie. It's PG-13. It's one of those again, but yeah, people really love that movie. It's the one after that people despise.
I guess I'm just not a huge Die Hard fan. Anyway, whatever. I'd
Apparently,
rather.
I guess. I don't know.
Best Christmas
Bad
movie
Lucas.
ever. So I'll go to my number 5. I love this movie. It was a movie that I had only seen on cable for a while until I bought it. But it was one of the movies that you have some movies that you really only watch once a year, but you watch them every year on like a certain day.
Sure.
I would, the day before school, from like 4th grade ish up until like I graduated basically from high school. The day before, I would always watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off with my brother. And
Okay.
I probably for that reason, it's on the list. I fucking love that movie. I don't know. It's not the funniest movie ever made, but watching it as like a little kid, you know how cool Matthew Broderick was in that movie?
Yeah.
Like his whole
do.
fourth wall breaking really is some of the best. It's a great movie. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love that movie. I've always wanted to have a day off of school like that. And then
Did you hear that?
Yes,
I don't
I
know
did.
if it. Okay.
Yes, I did. So that movie also catapulted Ben Stein to fucking annoying popularity, but it's neither here nor there.
Bueller. Yeah.
But
I watched that movie a lot when I was a children's.
When I was a chillin', I always used to watch that movie. Yeah, good one. Had to put it on there.
Cool.
So, yeah, it'll be number 5.
That is a good one. Okay, number 4. Again, dramatic.
Uh-oh, okay.
And so many of these, in fact, all of them except 2, I think you have not seen. So, Forcing Fandoms Part 2. You watch all of these.
Yes.
Go. Anyway. It's Gross Point Blank. So it is, I mean, what is to be said about Gross Point Blank that hasn't already been said? John Cusack at the height of his career is just, the movie speaks for itself. It really does. And it's just, a hitman who lives in Los Angeles has to come back to Grosse Pointe, Michigan to attend his 10-year high school reunion, which when I used to watch the movie when I was younger, I would think, 10 years, that's such a long time. My 10-year high school reunion came and went a couple years ago, and we never did anything about it. So
I think it's just a movie thing, man. I don't think they send out invitations and it's like this whole big thing. Maybe it falls
on your class president. Whoever your class president was is the one who's responsible. And our class president was kind of lazy about it. I'm just going to say that. Sorry, Zach, but it's...
Jeez, and you made fun of me for calling out Tina for making fun of me and my musical taste in high school. Yeah, fuck you too, Zach.
Because you called her like a dirty bitch, and
she was a bitch.
and went far. I just said that he was being a little lazy about it because he went into like the Facebook group that we're all in, and he's just like, "So you guys want to do anything?" And then nobody really responded, and it was just like, "Okay, well, it's not worth it." And then COVID happened, and it was like, whatever. I would have never gone anyway.
I don't either. I don't want people to see how much of a failure I am. I mean, I know they are too, but I still don't want,
Yeah, I'll go to the 20th reunion though, if hopefully we have it. But in the movie though, they certainly make 10 years seem like it's much longer. But whatever. He goes back to town and, comes across a girl that he dated when he was in high school, and they kind of like fall in love again, and he has to deal with doing a hit, performing a hit on somebody while he's in town. And it's just like John Cusack is just he's one of my favorite actors of all time. Just super funny and sarcastic and quick-witted, and it's so funny, but it also kind of has like a kind of a cool action element to it occasionally. But yeah, Grosse Pointe Blank. So
that's good.
Love that movie.
All right. Number 4. Actually, speaking of which, it's so funny. So number 4 is a movie that I saw for the first time in high school. I believe it came out in early 2000s, maybe like 2003-ish. I mentioned it to you the other day, actually. It is by no means a good movie. It's slapped together with celebrities, to get people in the theater.
Okay.
I mentioned this movie to you.
Movie 43?
No. It stars Method Man and Redman. How High.
Okay.
And again, so my friend was just texting me, one of my friends who I used to watch this movie with so many times in high school. And I'm sure I said it at one point on the show before. Back in the day, I used to be a real huge stoner, pothead, hippie, dippy motherfucker.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in high school. I used to be a huge fucking, it was bad. It was really bad. I didn't neglect my duties or anything, but it was bad. Anyway, this is a stoner comedy. It's the two rappers that go to Harvard on a free ride after passing their THC exams, which is the ACT, but it's the THC, and it stands for something I don't remember exactly. But
this is like real bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, so it happens all because the guy's friend dies, right? He's watching Field of Dreams and he drops the blunt in his hair.
I know you don't expect me to sell no peanuts out this bitch. Shit remind me of slavery day roots and shit, man. I don't play this, man.
Lights himself on fire, falls out a window, gets hit by a bus. His friend collects his ashes, sprinkles it on a weed plant, grows him, smokes him. So he smokes this weed plant with this guy. So he rolls up. You ever seen this movie or heard about it?
No, it's not. So, definitely not my thing.
Oh my God, it's so stupid. It's not good, but that's what makes it so beautiful. Like Cheech and Chong is funny, but this is just stupid. So they roll up to go take this exam. You know, you got to get high before you take the exam. So the one guy, he's about to roll up his weed, but then he farts and then he turns on the AC and blows the weed everywhere. So he runs out of weed, but he still has his papers. And the other guy rolls up, but he forgets his papers, but he has the weed. So he rolls down the window and goes, "Got blunt?" And the other one goes, "You got weed?"
Got blunt? Got weed?
So then they come together and they end up smoking the guy's boy, the ashes. And then he shows up in the backseat of the car as a ghost and then helps them pass these exams. They get a full ride to Harvard. This is the one where Fred Willard is the dean of Harvard. And it's everything an early 2000s shitty movie like you could think is in this movie. It's horrible. They bring Ben Franklin back at the end as a ghost. They smoke out of the Liberty bong. It's the stupidest thing ever. But I just remember watching this movie at 2 a.m. in a basement, exactly the way it was intended to be watched. You know what I mean? Just too many memories with that. You know, It's so stupid. I do have another really stupid movie on my list, but that's the only one I think is actually genuinely dumb.
Interesting.
So I'm not saying it's comedy gold, but it's fucking stupid. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I have nothing to say about it. Don't know anything about it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, anybody watching this that wants to go and crucify Lucas for that choice, just remember, it's our choices, right? So.
Again, that's why I prefaced it where it's not good, but holy
I'm seeing
shit,
why you
I
prefaced
laugh.
it.
It's not.
Now.
It's not, but holy shit. It's like The Room where you have to give, like a speech before you show it to somebody. Like, don't think I'm showing you. Don't base all my taste on this. Anyway, continue.
Well, on that note, all of my choices
are better than
don't need any preface to watch.
Gee.
My God. Anyway, so number 3, it sounds like there is somebody dancing above my head. Truly. Like there's like ballroom dancing.
I was gonna say
something.
That's funny, because we're haha comedy, but it's actually terrifying.
I agree. Anyway, so my number 3 is a movie that I have mentioned before. And it seems like a movie that is like How High and is like a lowest denominator kind of movie. But for anybody that has actually seen it, you know that couldn't be further from the truth.
Jeez.
1 second. My number 3 choice,
Mhm.
very much like How High, seems like it is like a lowest denominator kind of movie. But for anybody that has gone and actually watched this movie, you know how far from the truth that actually is. And what movie am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about American Pie. And
I wouldn't
yes,
say that's on the level of How High. I mean,
no,
I could
it's not at all. My point was, for anybody who has never seen it,
okay.
might think that it is, you know, just like How High and it's going for the lowest hanging fruit. But it's really not. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I saw it for the first time when I was younger. Took some convincing for my parents, my mom, to let me watch it.
Yeah.
Huh? Jim?
It's not what it looks like.
So my friend Robbie was spending the night, and I was like, Mom, he's seen American Pie before. It's fine. His parents let him watch it. And she was like, oh, really? And it worked. It actually worked. So we went and rented it from Family Video, and I was able to watch. I watched it with him. And you know, from that point moving forward, it just became one of my favorite movies of all time. And it is a comedy for sure. But again, there's drama to it as well. All of these have a drama element to it. It's insane. I didn't even notice until the list was complete.
Well, yeah, you're dramatic, so it really works.
Yeah, apparently. The only 2 that weren't were the honorable mentions, but I thought of those on the spot. So, you know,
okay.
Given enough time, who knows, my honorable mentions could have gotten real dramatic too. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's going to be just like a gross out teen comedy that's all about sex and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, yes, the movie's about sex, but it's like, it feels very real, and it feels very, I mean, it has a lot of like heart to it. That's the only way that I can explain it. It's just so much heart to it. It's really charming. It actually is very smartly written. And yes, it is the movie where a guy has sex with an apple pie.
Tell your mother that we ate it all.
But it actually works in the movie. The scene makes sense within the context of the movie.
Yes.
You're thinking I'm probably insane if you've never seen it, but you see the movie and then you get what I'm talking about. And it's just, it's charming. There's a lot of heart. There's, you know, relationships and love and stuff. Basically all the stuff that Lucas looks for in a movie. What's your favorite movie? Annapolis or whatever? What's it called?
Annapolis.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the one movie that haunts
story?
Me? Marriage Story or
no?
Or Two Lovers, the one that I see at Disney
Two
Play
Lovers
all the time.
That's the one.
The one that every time I go there, it's on the fucking cart. Like somebody is always trying to like sucker into buying this movie.
You buy it,
trying to get rid of it.
It's you buying it every time.
And
you come up to people and you trick them. You're like, one of my favorite movies is a Joaquin Phoenix movie, and people are like, yeah, me too, and you're like, yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow's in it too. You like her?
And they're like, Gwyneth Paltrow's not in Signs or Joker or Walk the Line.
Vanessa Shaw's in this one. Remember her? She doesn't. She's not in anything anymore. This movie killed her career. You want to see it?
And they're just like, Lucas, Gwyneth Paltrow's not in any of those movies. And you're like, what movies? I'm talking about Two Lovers. And then and then people run away screaming.
Oh God.
So anyway, you had a story about
just
how
quick
high.
factoid. H. John Benjamin, who is famous
Archer.
for like never changing his voice, like he just does his voice actors the way he talks.
Why change your voice when you have such a beautiful voice?
Yeah, so I always remember him as what's his name, Coach McGurr from that one show. God, I can't remember the name of it. It was on Adult Swim in like maybe the late 90s, early 2000s.
I don't know. Bob's Burgers?
No. I had the guy with the long nose and the orange hair. Fuck, I'll put a picture of it up in here.
Okay.
Anyway, he's in that movie. He does not talk like himself. He uses a different voice. And it kind of sounds like this. It's really weird.
That is weird. I didn't know he was capable.
Yeah, he's right. He's like the captain of like this rowing team, and there's like this privileged white kid who's like the captain of it, and like one of the rapper guys like just tells him off and tells him to just basically tells him to fuck off because he wanted to know where the financial aid office was. It's like, oh, we don't need to know. So financial aid for the black guy at Harvard. Like, how stupid is this movie?
Oh, do anybody know what a financial aid office is?
Well, my man, let me think. See that statue right there? It's beautiful, isn't it? That statue is in the likeness of my great-granddaddy Deuster, so I'm guessing that would be the Deuster house. The financial aid office? Gee, I don't think I've ever met anyone who actually needed to go there. But don't even think about it. You don't look like you could hang, Jermaine.
And then they go there and they're eating Cheetos in the fucking office. I'm crying now thinking of this movie. Oh, God.
Those are no fly-ass women the Chancellor was talking about. I mean, so far, I only seen some stuck-up, nerdy-ass looking women out there.
You were dropping Cheetos on an original 18th century hand-woven tapestry.
You mean it's carpet?
Anyway, my number 3 comedy is actually, I believe, to be, as Brandon said, oh boy, get it together. A smartly written movie that has has a lot of heart as well. And I mentioned it to you before. I'll defend it too. And I think people who like this movie would say the same. Is a 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's raunchy. It is very funny, tongue in cheek, a lot of stuff, tiptoes on the line. The unrated version, like I've mentioned before on the show, 17, it says in the box, lasts 17 minutes longer. I didn't understand the joke until I was older. Hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
But it is a good movie. It has a good message, behind it. If you really watch it for that.
Yeah.
And every single person in that movie, all the 4 leads of the guys, and then all the supporting cast, everyone does a great job. And we do have a retro, really fat Jonah Hill in this movie, trying to buy the shoes with the fish at the bottom. I just want to buy these so I can take them back to my house and wear them.
I'm just trying to get these shoes back to my house so I can wear them.
Do you remember Jonah Hill in that one movie? I can't even remember was it called Accepted?
Oh God, the one was
like, would you
Justin
like
Long.
to buy my wiener or whatever? What is he? He has wearing like.
Would you like
suit?
to take a bite of my wiener? He's in the fucking yeah.
Ask me about my wiener.
Oh God, I saw that movie one time. I thought it was hilarious when I was a kid. I'm sure it's not.
I'm sure it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's quite terrible.
40-Year-Old Virgin is definitely up there. I was gonna put Superbad because I do like that movie a lot. Seth Rogen and Bill Hader are so standout as the cops in that movie. I love Superbad, but
agreed.
Like I said, 40-Year-Old Virgin is wholesome to a way. It's like it's
what's
cute.
funny?
I like it.
These are all Judd Apatow movies. So I have to make sure if okay, perfect. So I mentioned Trainwreck, you mentioned 40-Year-Old Virgin, as well as Superbad, as well as, are we missing one? Whatever. They're Judd Apatow movies, which are kind of hit and miss for people, but all those that we just mentioned are really good. So, he is you have, traditionally Jonah Hill and James Franco and Seth Rogen tend to show up a lot in his movies, but yeah,
definitely good one. I love that movie. Can never get enough of it.
Very good. Very good. It's been years since I've seen that movie, but I remember really liking it. It came out the same year, I believe, as Wedding Crashers. For some reason, I remember those two together, watching them like back to back. Okay. Now we're getting into the real good shit,
nitty gritty.
Like, these are the ones that I would probably risk my life for. These last two.
Wow, I wouldn't say the same thing, but
yeah,
that's
because
a great lead
you're
up.
over there with like epic movie on your list or something.
Oh God, don't even.
Oh no, that's actually the sewer line.
See, you can quote it right away, just like that. Crispin Glover.
How did they rope him into that?
Because he wasn't doing anything else, unfortunately.
How is Harold
He's a really
Kumar not
weird
on my
guy.
list? I love that stupid movie too. That's another great stoner. I have to have a top 5 stoner comedies.
Yeah, I'd have none. I would just sit here and stare into the abyss
like a stoner. Perfect.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
Anyway.
I've seen Pineapple Express. I liked Gary.
Pineapple
Gary
Express
Cole in it.
It's funny, but it's not on my top 5. It's because it's like explicitly a weed. Like it's too much of a weed. You know what I mean?
That one's too much of a weed movie.
As I'm talking about how high.
Yeah.
You like Brandon's pot plants in the back. Anyway, let's go to number 2.
Go to number 2, Mr. Powers.
Okay, so my number 2 is it stars one of the greatest comedians of my lifetime. Rest in peace to him. And that is,
I know who.
The late great Robin Williams. And the movie I speak of is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes.
So this movie it's basically, ever since I first saw it, came out in 1993. I was 2 years old at the time. I don't remember the first time I saw it, but it might have been my grandma showing it to me for the first time because she was a big fan of it. And I just fell in love with it. It's just so good. And again, incredibly dramatic.
Yeah, it is. There's an underlying, it's sad if you really think about it.
Super sad, but really good. And Robin Williams definitely shines in it. And you know who also shines in it is Pierce Brosnan. Absolutely shines in it in a comedic role. And that was prior to James Bond for him. Beat James Bond by 2 years. And I just love everything about this movie. Taking the orange and throwing it at Pierce Brosnan's head and him turning around and being like, "Oh, it was a runaway fruiting." And he's like, obviously knows that it was Mrs. Doubtfire that did it, but he can't say anything because the kids and Laura love her so much. It gets real confusing with the pronouns for this movie. But yeah, it's so good. And
yes,
prior to Robin Williams passing away, Mrs. Doubtfire 2 was in the casting process.
That's
so
horrible.
they already had As far as I know, only 2 people signed on, but it was 2 amazing people. It was Robin Williams and Pierce Brosnan that had signed on for it. And then unfortunately he passed away, and that ended up not working out. I don't know if it would have been good, but I definitely would have been all over that. And it's just, I don't know. It's an incredibly quotable movie. It's heartwarming. It's hilarious. It's sad. And
I think every word you just said is
really
the perfect descriptor for that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's realistic too. You know, it doesn't end with him getting back together with his ex-wife and everything is happy. You know what I mean? Like it still ends realistically. Everything about it is realistic. And if for people that don't know, which if you don't, I feel sorry for you. The movie ends, well, yeah, it ends with him having a Mrs. Doubtfire like TV show, like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but he's Mrs. Doubtfire on it, right? So everybody knows that this man is Mrs. Doubtfire, right? So what was the sequel gonna do? You know what I mean? Like I was so curious for how the sequel was gonna work, because I think it was their plan to just bring everybody back. You know, Sally Field and the kids and all of that. So it's like maybe it was going to be for his grandkids. I don't know. It makes me sad to think about, though.
Yeah.
In all honesty, because it would have been really cool. But yeah, it's just make me a woman. Oh, honey, I'm so happy.
Hey, is that why Walk Like a Man is your favorite
yeah, maybe
4-season song?
it's there in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Hello, it's me. It's Robin Williams. I'm a lady, an old lady. I'm Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello, you Vagina Doubtfire. At your service.
Oh God.
I don't know what any of that was. Oh, honey. What was it? I wish I could remember. Aunt Jack and Uncle Frank or something like that. Uncle Frank and Aunt Jack. Whatever. I love it so much, though.
Yes. Very 90s of you.
Yes. Yes. And it has Harvey Firestein in it, which is Kevin. It's the same person. Kevin that we work with.
Oh,
yeah, they're the same person.
Yeah. Anyway, I can't unsee. Number 2 on my list, a little bit older than that one. So we mentioned spoof movies. I do have a spoof movie on here. Love Scary Movie, love Austin Powers, you know, but you know, there's one that to me is my favorite. I picked a Mel Brooks movie.
Okay. Oh,
Spaceballs.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what do you think I
thought you were going to do?
Blazing Saddles or Young Frankenstein?
Young Frankenstein.
Which I love. That's another one I watched a lot with my dad. But this one too, I watched a lot with my dad. Another one is Spaceballs. First of all, it was one of the first times where I had watched a movie that was PG, but PG in the 80s is not PG in the 90s. Oh God.
No. That's a fact. Oh, I don't have a dog. Never mind.
Anyway, hi Duncan. So
he has some very strong opinions on movies. I don't know if he should be here for this conversation.
So it was one of the first times that I didn't realize that PG-13 didn't exist in the 80s. So when they're dropping the F-bomb and swearing all the time in this movie, I was absolutely amazed. Watching it today, you know, there's more to it than just like the toilet humor to it. It's one of the most well done parody movies. maybe because that's to do with Star Wars. I absolutely love Star Wars. And when I saw this movie for the first time in about, I don't know, 2004-ish, was later, toward the end of the prequels, Star Wars was in its popularity for that time. And my dad was like, oh, there's this movie, Spaceballs, makes fun of Star Wars. I'm like, I don't want to watch something that makes fun of something I love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I watch it. And oh my God, the references are phenomenal. There's more to it than just Star Wars. I got older. I saw the Planet of the Apes ones. There's a lot of Star Trek references, of course, too. I think
the Alien reference.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
with John Hurt.
Everybody
coming back for some reason.
Everybody. Yeah, the chest burster from that one. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Yeah, everybody. So, I think my favorite part of that movie, though, is when they meet Yogurt. And how stupid of a name, too. That's low-hanging fruit. But they got Yogurt so he can grab it. Anyway, when he does...
I know.
When he does the merchandising whole spiel, that was one of the most, self-aware Star Wars things I'd seen. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then a couple shots later, they show President Scrooge pissing, and there's Spaceballs, the toilet paper, and then he's in bed with the two girls with Spaceballs, the sheets. It was just everything. Hilarious.
What's the joke? Spaceballs,
the flamethrower. Yeah, Spaceballs 2, the search for more money.
That's right.
Was the sequel.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if it was 2 or 3. Obviously, I know that the movie never got a sequel, but
did you know
I thought that might have been a joke?
The mid 2000s, they made an animated Spaceballs TV series that was literally a remake of the movie, but a cartoon on G4, and it was shit.
No.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, very interesting trivia for that one. Yeah, that was when G4 was starting to really fall off, but that's my number 2. It's got the sentimental value, plus Star Wars the sentimental value, so it's the unperfect storm for me for that one. For sure.
And there's John Candy.
Yeah, John Candy's phenomenal. Everyone does a great job in that one.
How can you go wrong with John Candy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's good movie. Let the Schwartz be with you. All right.
Spaceballs the doll. Me. May the Schwartz be with you. Adorable.
May the Schwartz be with you. Adorable.
Or the one part when he's like, use the Schwartz. Well, I don't have the ring. Forget the ring. I got it at the bottom of a Cracker Jack box. The Schwartz isn't you.
Who played Yogurt?
Mel Brooks.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
See, I was gonna say that, but then I was like, I don't want to just sound like a complete idiot.
It was Mel Brooks. Oh my God. Rick Moranis in that movie. How did I not even say him right off the bat? Yeah. Absolutely hilarious. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Or
perfect action figures.
And I think I mentioned it in a previous video, but my all-time favorite part of that movie, and one of the funniest scenes to me in movie history, just genius writing, is when they need to find out where they are. When they're on Druidia, and they're just like, well, we'll just watch a copy of the movie. How do you come up with that? That's absolutely hilarious.
I don't remember the scene, but
what? Oh no. My God. Yeah, so they're walking around what would be they're walking around the desert, and
okay.
They're like, we got to find out where they are. So he's like, oh, well, we'll just watch the movie. So he goes up, it's like the library, and then it's all of Mel Brooks movies, and then they take out Spaceballs.
Yeah,
and then he puts it in the cassette, and then Rick Moranis he's like, stop the camera. He's like, how are we gonna watch it? We're in the middle of making it. And he goes, well, there's a new breakthrough in home video marketing. You can get the movie before the movie is finished. So they're watching it.
Yes, sir. How can there be a cassette of Spaceballs the movie? We're still in the middle of making it. Oh, that's true, sir. But there's been a new breakthrough in home video marketing. There has? Yes. Instant cassettes. They're out in stores before the movie is finished.
And then they find out and then so they're fast forwarding. They go through, and then it stops to all of them looking at the TV screen, and then they're like looking back and forth, like waving, and they're watching the movie. And he goes, "How is this possible? Like, what am I looking at now? You're looking at now, sir." But what happened to then? It happened just then. When did I miss it? Just now. It's hilarious.
That's funny. Yeah. See,
Very
I know
funny.
that is quoted a lot. That what you just said there.
That is just one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a movie. Like, great. So yeah, that's my number 2.
That's funny. Okay. And my number 1, it's a movie that you hinted at before, and it disgusts me that you don't have a single movie with this gentleman in your list.
Oh, no.
Because he is.
You'll really hate number 1 then.
Is the defining actor of the 90s. I think he's like the defining actor of our childhood.
Jim
and
Carrey
that
or
is
Adam Sandler?
It's Jim Carrey.
I said The Mask, in an honorable mention at least.
And
I'm
so
crying,
this
sorry.
movie is
I said I'm crying for my choices. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Anyway,
so this movie is obviously, how could you not pick Liar Liar?
I knew it was your number 1. I had an inkling.
It's been my number 1 since I first saw it. For my entire
Well, that's awesome
life,
that it's never
been
changed,
my number
because
1.
I know that you are and always will be one of the biggest Jim Carrey fans. You are the biggest Jim Carrey fan I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, that's what I like to.
That's his claim to fame.
That is my claim to fame. That's what I like to put out there to everybody. And apparently he's retiring from acting. So
Sonic pushed him overboard.
Apparently. Yeah. Honestly, it was, not to get into the whole situation, but it was propelled by Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. It was.
Yeah, he had a good take on it. I saw.
He was disgusted by the hypocrisy of not kicking Will Smith out of the Oscars at that very moment, by not calling the police, by not pressing charges, and by giving him an award 30 minutes later and giving him a standing ovation. He's so disgusted by all of that he's like, obviously, to quote Jim Carrey, he said, "I guess Hollywood isn't the cool kids club anymore."
Yeah.
And he is going to retire, which really sucks. He did say that it's not final, though, that if he reads a project that really speaks to him, he'll come back. But otherwise, that's it, unfortunately. But yeah, Liar Liar. Well, what is there to be said about Liar Liar that hasn't been said before? There's a scene in the movie, again, keeping in line with the drama, where Jim Carrey as a lawyer has to defend Jennifer Tilly and against her husband, and because he can't lie, and it's a whole situation. Probably the most notable moment in the entire movie, he ends up winning the case, but that means that Jennifer Tilly's character, which I can't think of her name at the moment, ends up getting full custody of her kids, and the father, who's a great father, has to sit there, like, I'm about to tear up talking about it.
Oh, poor Brandon.
Ends up getting, he's like kneeling on the ground and ends up just sort of like collapsing to the ground as his kids get pulled away from him. And you can just tell that she is a horrible mother. You know what I mean? Like, won't even let him hug his kids, like all of that. It just, like, I don't know, it gets to me. But outside of that, though, the movie is really, really funny. And it's just, I don't know. It's just, I think it's Jim Carrey at the best he's ever been, at his 100% peak of his career. Because it has great direction, great writing, and it just lets Jim Carrey be Jim Carrey, but not too Jim Carrey. because there are movies out there that let him be too Jim Carrey. And a movie that comes to mind immediately is Fun with Dick and Jane, which is a movie that I used to love, but
Only
it's
by
Jim
association.
Carrey being too Jim Carrey, let's be honest. And ultimately, the pen is blue. The pen is blue. The goddamn pen is blue.
Beautiful.
B-E-A beautiful.
There you go.
Great. It's a
There's your
Bruce
reference
Almighty.
for you. I fucking love that movie too, man.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I really love Bruce Almighty. But if I had a top 10, Bruce Almighty would probably end up in it. But
that's a good one.
Yeah. Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off. The clapper.
Come on, remember the clapper. Come on.
I think I've quoted Bruce Almighty more at this point now than actually Liar Liar itself. But it's one of my favorites, obviously. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a lawyer. And I wanted to be a lawyer for years because of that movie. And it sounds just so ridiculous because what about being a lawyer seems appealing from that movie? But, whatever. I don't know.
That's
just
funny. Well, I mean, you're a kid.
Correct. But if I need to make myself laugh, I just think of a scene from the movie and immediately I just laugh. The scene with the homeless person, multiple scenes, and it's just like, is that all? I've got unpaid parking tickets, and then parking tickets. Just there's so many of them. It's just, I don't. I literally the claw. Oh, you're scared of the claw. Oh, you're scared of the claw. I don't know. I would just, anytime I really like something, as we have probably shown at this point many times, I degrade into just a person that just makes quotes and doesn't say much else. Yes. So I have to cut myself off at this point. But it is not only, I'm gonna make a bold statement. It's not only my favorite comedy of all time. It is my favorite movie of all time, which is pretty high praise, I would say.
Wow.
But
wow, that is very bold.
Yeah.
Just has to do with when you're a kid, man. Makes an impression.
Yeah. I would say that that's probably the only one on my list that really, I've seen them all of them when I was a kid, but that's the one that really, I guess, the nostalgia bled through and just gripped on for dear life.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to segue to number one. This is a movie that we've talked about ad nauseum, actually. In fact, we did an entire episode about this. It's The Fucking Room. That is the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Only because of the story behind the movie. It is just such an anomaly. And I'm not even going to make the fucking joke. That is the goddamn perfect storm of cinema. What an insane story. Okay. He is the Orson Welles of shit. Okay. I absolutely love that movie. And the fact that every single person I've ever showed this movie to becomes an instant fan and then watches it multiple times after. I get people quoting this movie for, I've been watching this movie for 15 years solid. I ain't stopping anytime soon. I just, if again, like Liar Liar, if I ever need to laugh, I just think of basically any scene in this whole fucking movie. It's a shit show. And I was thinking, I'm making this list throughout the week. I'm thinking like, my lists are always trashy anyway. Let's get real here. But what really made me laugh, like just the hardest, I don't think I've ever laughed consistently at a movie. Like every time I watch Room, it's like watching it for the first time. It never gets old. It's just, oh my God, it's so stupid. And I thought to myself, is this a cop-out? Because, it's not really a comedy, but I don't think it is a cop-out. It's just funny. It's hilarious.
I think that nothing's really a cop out. It's whatever works for you individually. If there's movies out there that are less of a comedy than The Room and would be perfectly acceptable being on somebody's list. So I would say, it works. The only question I would ask is there anybody out there besides Tommy Wiseau that claims that this movie is supposed to be a comedy?
Exactly.
But that's the debate for it. And it is obviously hilarious. If you're watching this and you didn't watch our Room
we talked
special,
about it
then go check that out, because it's very entertaining,
very comedy packed. So I don't know, man. So many memories with that movie, just all throughout high school and showing people. And even us talking about, you know what I mean? It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
You can have a good time. You can have a bad time. It's The Room.
What's funny is, and I was going to mention this before, and I figured this is a good time since The Room was brought up again now. I couldn't remember it when we talked about it, but I had some time to reflect upon it. When the first time I saw that movie was? So it came out in 2003, right? I believe it was 2005. The Room was shown on Adult Swim.
2007.
2007. Okay. So I don't remember.
You talked about this.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all. It definitely wasn't in the episode, because I would remember it. And I didn't catch it then, but one of my friends named Joe caught it. He caught it real good, and he just kept talking about it all the time. Like, this is the greatest movie of all time. Like, he did it to be like what's it called?
Ironic.
Yes, but when you're just like, oh my,
he's a hipster.
Yes. Give me some more synonyms. Where you're just like, I keep on wanting to say contortionist, but that's not right, because a contortionist is like
he's a nonconformist. Whatever. He goes against the grain because he wants to be
goes
cool.
against the grain. There's a really good word for it that I really wish I could have thought of, but a contrarian.
Contrarian.
Okay,
there we go. A librarian.
Yes. And he just kept saying it was the greatest movie of all time. And that was when I went and watched the trailer for the very first time. And I ended up on the website, and I was watching like little snippets of the movie and stuff. So I guess 2007. And he told me about it through AIM, AOL Instant Messenger. And that's when I was first introduced to it. But I hadn't watched it in its full capacity until a few years after that. But
yes,
it was a confusing experience for me, let me tell you.
I don't know. I've watched it with so many people. I've referred so many people to it, just too many memories, and it's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But I still have to take a shower before I go to work, so I have to make a
bad
out of here.
Lucas.
I know. Had a rushed. I
don't know why you. Can we talk about this briefly?
No, I don't have time to talk about it now.
What time do you start work?
At 5 o'clock.
Okay, one quick
Brandon.
thing.
No, I have to walk.
I don't understand people
shower.
taking showers before work. Take them after work.
Look
when
at
you're
my
smelly
hair,
and sweaty.
you moron.
So you just take 2 showers a day?
Well, don't you when you go to work?
No, I just take a shower after work.
When I hope you don't sweat too much when you're
sweaty.
sleeping.